Welcome to the Learn From Us podcast. Hello, everyone. We're back. We're back for another episode with Andrew. Andrew, how are you today?
I'm fabulous.
Andrew was talking about his parents' sex life, so why don't we get back on that?
Were we?
I think Paul's
Uncle
he's
Jerry.
I looked. He had this shit-eating grin on his face for the last 30 seconds, and I think he just figured out how he's going to open into this.
So Paul recently got in a relationship, and I think at times we've talked about how you
7 months. Don't bring that up.
What? No. Prior to this relationship, you haven't been in very many long-term relationships.
Oh, gotcha. Yes.
So this is a long-term relationship for a long time.
But this is like a it's we've known each other for a long time.
It's very natural. Like, yes,
we don't feel like this euphoric, like, oh my god, I'm just dying to see. It's just like a very,
because you guys have been in each other's lives for a long time.
Who is it?
It's Lisa.
Who is it?
You know what's funny? I was telling her, I was joking with her the other day. So the joke is, I always tell her how lucky she is to have me.
Yeah.
So, I really enjoy going on walks, especially with her.
Yeah. You said, do you take the dogs and everything?
Yeah, sometimes. But the thing is, like, I really enjoy taking walks, but I always joke with her saying, how many husbands probably go on walks with their wives when they're like in trouble and they're like, okay, let me make my wife like me right now. I'm just like, I want to go on a walk just to go on a walk. I just like going on walks. So she's moving to Sugar and Falls soon, which is wonderful because it's a great place to walk.
And you can walk and get ice cream and popcorn there,
which
too.
we did, by the way. We went to Dewey's.
Yeah, you should.
But we didn't go to Jenny's.
What a cute... Oh, they put a Jenny's in? Of course
The line is too long. The line was too long.
Are
you a Jenny's fan?
Well, listen.
I've never heard of Jenny's.
So, we've talked about this with Rogue. I'm always astounded when companies can reinvent the obvious. Rogue, Yeti, Jenny's. Ice cream has been around.
Oh, Jenny's is huge?
Enormous. I mean, multi, $10, $20 million a year.
Did you know that the Cleveland Clinic is big in Cleveland?
I didn't know. That joke goes
Jenny's
back to
is a
Vegas.
Columbus company, and I was down there in Columbus.
Oh, it is.
So I single-handedly watched her open every other restaurant and then move into Texas and Tennessee, obviously in Cleveland. They're in airports now. You get off, and there's a Jenny's.
Shit.
There's a Jenny's sort of get me my ice cream. And it's incredible ice cream. It's also incredibly, like, I was gonna say overpriced, priced accordingly, yet higher than other places. So I went.
It's a very nice store.
Well, I went to Medina, got ice cream with the kids, and they put the scoop in there, and it's $2.50. I mean, the same thing at Jenny's is $6.50, if not $8 at times. And so, Jenny's. But the same thing goes. I can't figure out how Yeti. I can't.
Those are amazing. Yetis are incredible.
Were coolers wrong? I mean, were coolers in such a sorry state prior to Yeti that people are now willing to pay $300 to keep their drinks cold?
Well, Seth, you're a chemist,
Go
right?
on.
Doctor of Seth.
Go on.
Doctor of Seth.
So you say that. Talk dirty to me. Talk chemi to me.
It's not that coolers didn't work. It's that people didn't realize how well coolers could work.
Like, how long does ice stay ice in a Yeti tumbler?
They actually did this whole YouTube thing where they took like a regular one, the Amazon fake Yeti, the Schmeti, and then
I love the Schmeti.
Go on.
And then the actual Yeti itself, and then they did a bunch of different. They put just straight ice cubes in this one.
We understand the process.
And they also put them in dishwashers. They cut them open, all that kind of stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, the Yeti crushed.
How long does the ice stay cold? Say ice. It stays as ice for like hours and hours.
Oh, no. Yeah, no. I put ice, so I like iced coffee, but I also hate when the ice melts in the coffee and everything goes to shit. You put it in that Yeti container, and like 8 hours later, you still have iced coffee.
I'm serious. It really is like 5 hours later,
So
isn't it?
the biggest thing for me is I have a sensitive tongue.
And Andrew's very cheap, by the way. So if Andrew's endorsing Yeti.
Wow.
I know.
Yeti
I've
needs
given
to endorse
Yeti
this
as a
podcast.
gift. I've given Yeti as a gift. Yeah. Yeti, we'll take coolers. Send them.
We will do a whole product review on them. But no, I have yet to buy Yeti. You know how I own 2 of them?
Because of us?
I have found them sitting. So if you show up to a youth basketball game and there's a Yeti in the corner and it's the last game of the season and everyone leaves, are you turning that into lost and found? Nope, I got my first Yeti. The second Yeti I got.
That doctor didn't stand for dumpster
Look,
diver.
if someone's going to leave it, someone's leaving a Yeti, I inspected it. No teeth marks, the second Yeti I acquired is someone drove past my house with it like on their roof, and it just fell into my yard. The big tumbler, like the big ass one.
Oh,
I'm
look
like,
at you
This is
picking up those
$40.
40 ounces.
This is like looks per. I'm
First
like, I'm
off,
keeping this.
that's
damn
more than $40.
Way
Seth.
more.
Price it.
How'd you know? How'd you know it was on top of the car and drove past and it happened?
I just assumed. It had a bounce mark on the road, and then it landed in my yard. And I'm
The
like, well,
road had a bounce mark.
No, road rash on the Yeti. And so I was like, well, now I have a couple Yetis, and they are incredible. But Jenny's is another thing, like ice cream. So I used to be a hater, like Rogue. I used to be a hater.
You hated Rogue?
Well, I just can't develop. I just couldn't develop the mindset of like people are just falling all over themselves for Rogue, and it's the same freaking thing that already exists. But God love them. They're a great company. Great. I mean, if they can do that, that means they're even a better business. Because I can't even do it with one business that I think is pretty. You know what I mean? Like I'm struggling to get a couple businesses going. I should just be like redoing. So anyway, but that's not why we're here.
Why are we here, Seth?
We're here for Deal of the Week.
Deal of the week. Andrew brings Paul a deal of the week.
And
Seth's there too.
Should we change the jingle
Why?
soon, or just keep it?
Are you kidding me?
The jingle's fire.
That was stupid. Here we go. Andrew, you are here to bring Paul a deal. Paul has not seen this deal. Usually he gets very upset with the deal. But let's see where we at today, Andrew.
Give Daddy the deal. Ooh, it's color.
Well, I think last week I made you guys share them, and you guys started
64
crying
units.
and-
Ooh, I like this.
Now look, this presentation.
Oh, I knew.
No,
Seth.
listen, it's just corny enough where I think this is going to be in our wheelhouse. Like they try to do a good job, but it still looks like
Holy
an
F, where is
infomercial.
this? Please tell me it's nearby.
Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, yeah.
Columbus, Ohio. A 64 unit built in 94.
This is a beautiful property.
The average unit is about 1,000 square feet. The average in-place rent is about $800. And average in-place
wasn't,
rent
eight
per square
figure-
foot, so 84 cents a square foot. 92% occupancy. At least they're honest about that.
I don't like it when people do the per square foot price on a residential.
Well, right, they're trying to put it compared to a house, which makes no
If
sense.
you're
but-
not downtown or New York City or something where you're really fighting for that damn square foot,
Yeah, fuck off.
then it just doesn't mean as much to me.
It's a very lovely property.
Holy cow.
Mature trees.
154 parking spots for 62 units?
Oh, wow.
64 units?
Oh, they,
wow,
they
that's
need
a
many
lot.
units in the
So
middle.
do you remember where we had Paul? We bought some land in Columbus,
Yes, Galloway.
right?
Yeah.
The apartments were what?
Is this that?
So it's just north of that, but it's in that world.
Ooh, look at those units.
I know. What year did you say this was built, Seth?
94?
Look at the pictures, Paul. Tell us what you're looking at.
1974. That's what I'm looking at.
Come on,
So
that's a little
It's a
aggressive.
standard
do you mean standard?
I'm looking at the outside for a standard 2-story,
Oh, he hasn't
very
gotten
nice
to the
brick,
inside.
beautiful shutters.
Let's all, wait
siding
for Seth to catch up.
is beautiful. I mean, the inside.
You're gonna knock your little Coca-Cola over.
What's wrong? He's done it before. Amenities: private entrance, all electric, open floor plan. It's electric. Breakfast bar, eat-in dining area, washer and dryer connections, and dishwasher, private patio. Great.
Did we talk about the unit mix yet?
Let's talk about that, Andrew.
Probably
Tell us about it.
all. Well, first off, did you see? Oh my God, the tile is like Mexican tile.
All 2-bedroom townhomes.
I love it.
2 bed, 1 bath.
Those are perfect.
It's a good property.
One model unit, so it's really 63 units. Fuck off.
So the kitchen is
Yes and no.
Look at that rent, 650 to 845.
So Paul, on that one, yes and no. Yeah, they're using it for a model, but you don't need to.
I know.
It's not an office.
2 bedroom, 1 bath.
Yeah,
650 rent is the lowest rent they have.
is that pretty dope?
What is that? Good or bad?
I mean, that's low.
Yeah.
Low for
I mean, I
two
like
bedrooms.
that.
Yeah, great.
Deal of the week.
Do they
But-
get, okay, keep going.
Deal of the week.
Paul's
What? What are you chuckling at?
2018, they have $3,000 a unit in operating expenses. Get the fuck
Tell
out
me
of my
about that. What does
face.
that mean? Tell me again.
That means they're lying.
I'm not familiar with that number. What should it be and what shouldn't it be?
There's no. I mean, that's
well, so they've got a T12.
no
trailing
payroll
12.
and benefits. Zero payroll and benefits.
Just don't need them, Seth.
No, they're not. They're not employing anyone to take care of these units.
Slaves.
That came back already.
Now they do have the pro forma.
I thought I would have seen that on Facebook. No outrage.
The point is, it's like when people leave landscaping out. It's like you don't have grass out there. You have maintenance expense. Who's doing
yeah,
the work?
snow.
Someone's going to have it. So how do you not have payroll? Of course you have payroll.
Is this a nicer area? Because this looks like a nicer area, but Galloway is not the best area. It's not terrible.
It's not the best. It's not the worst.
There's a BW3s down the street, Paul.
Well,
you should have known.
I should have known.
They give us a map of
Seth,
like
as
what's
someone
around.
who lived in Columbus, what did you feel like on that? In that, it kind of, I'll call it west side, outside the loop. Because inside the loop, when you
Look
get
how
into
far the BW3s is, too. Do you see that?
Yeah, it's 10 miles at least.
so for
I mean-
everyone who can't see,
Let's just
they
put-
have an aerial that was probably done by a drone, so you can see the top.
That's
and
not
the
by a
roofs and everything.
helicopter. That's not by my drone.
They have this BW3s, and it's literally pointing at the clouds.
They just told some intern, just put some dots in the background and name some random stores.
it's over there.
Yeah, so going back, I'm not judging anyone, but I didn't have a lot of friends saying that we're moving to Galloway and they're getting congratulated for it. But I mean, I'm sure the way Columbus is spreading outward, I'm sure Galloway is going to be a big hit soon.
Well, doctors tend to hang out with other doctors, right?
Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, and so that's
Is that the reason?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so. But again, I thought that about Grove City. People told us we were like stupid for moving to Grove City.
And now it's huge.
Enormous. You can't even drive around. The streets are just filled with people.
It's been ruined. Jenny's came in, and then look
Oh,
what
once the
happened.
Jenny comes in, then the whores. Okay. Keep, all right,
Once during the war, I visited a prostitute.
Spending
and
their
my
ice
life's been a
cream
living
money.
hell ever
Paul,
since.
you're already on your phone. You're either checking your Grindr account.
no, he's
or,
doing numbers.
what's he doing?
He's
Tell
got
me.
calculator going. So Seth, what he was saying here, he's going through and saying, "Oh, the payroll that's off and all that kind of stuff." But there was a weird thing I noticed on here. If you go through the financials, they had utility income. I'll count utility income. I think they're probably getting some trash, but when you flip through in the beginning and they talk about who pays for what and all that kind of
Yes.
stuff, it says utilities. Resident pays electric, resident pays water, sewer, and there is no gas. So
Oh,
what are they reimbursing for?
I see.
So the question is, like, how do you have a line in the financial when they're already paying for it?
I got a price.
Come on, Paul. Now listen. The point of this podcast
We're talking
The
it
point
out.
of the podcast is to let people listen about how you process a deal, not getting to a number. So,
So-
tell me what you got to and
Not
how
only
and why.
that, I think you were on the phone yesterday. We were talking to someone about the podcast, and he goes, it was neat. You were talking about the numbers and everything, and I was trying to come up with my own number of what I thought it was
Ooh.
going to be.
I'm
And
not,
so-
guys. I'm just announcing I have a number. It doesn't mean that we're not going to talk about how we got the number. Jesus Christ!
How many units?
Well,
again?
sometimes we jump the
64?
gun. We start going straight
Let me
to the
try.
price.
Let me try. 64 units with an average rent of what did they say?
So they said
That's
right.
not the way I'm looking at it, though. I'm looking at it for end result because it's going to need rehab. So what do you think you?
What did you put in per rehab per unit?
Thank you. Well, for rehab rent per like, what are we going to get in rent after it's rehab?
That was my next question. Yeah. What is it? Yeah.
What would you put, Andrew? What did you assume?
I put 945.
I put
945?
950. I put 950.
You're kidding. The
no,
two of
Come
you?
on, look at this.
no, I put
huh?
950.
You just
Here's why.
high-fived a knuckle. Okay. Look at these.
Here's why. We have in Morrison, Cleveland, a building where we do $895 for a 2-bedroom townhome. They're 1.5 bath though, but it's
nine-
Morrison, Cleveland. So we
950.
figured
Not as not, and these are
these are
beautiful.
pretty.
You
These are
don't need to do
beautiful.
anything on the
these-
outside.
Come on, these are
Okay. This is a $300 jump for some of these.
yes.
Wow. Okay. And then what
By the
about
way,
your? Go
the
ahead.
lowest
Sure. The lowest
is
yeah,
sitting down
650.
there.
Yeah.
I think if I sat there and took the trailing numbers, looked at their T12, and Seth, I take their collected number, divide by the amount of units, divide by 12 months,
Did
and
we
then
say
divide by
794?
their occupancy
Yeah.
rate.
Yeah.
So if I'm taking 528,000 divided by 12 months divided by 64 units is $687, but they had vacancy.
Yeah.
So if I assume it's somewhere around 8 to 10, that means their average collective rent somewhere around 750.
Okay.
Or you could look at it here and
763,
say 794 average in place rent.
which is a lie.
Is it a lie?
Yeah, because I go off the T12. If
Well-
794 is the answer, that means they were 85% occupied, collected.
Which, by the way, very well could be the case.
Could be,
But they say 92.
but yeah, they say 92.
Well, that's what they say currently.
So
Okay. Keep going.
By the
So-
way, look at their occupied paying,
What is it?
87.5%.
so there you go.
Okay.
Anyways, go ahead.
So by the way, that 794 may be a little closer. I don't have the rent roll, but
But guess what? It doesn't matter to me. What I'm going to look at in this property, whenever we're doing a rehab, I care about what's it going to be after we're done with the rehab. I don't care about today as much.
Sure. I hear you. So what are we going to put in off the top of your head? You can come up with what you're going to.
I put $15,000.
15 into each unit.
And I think that's high.
I think so too. I was going to say 12
I
what
did
I've learned from you.
14, and I think that's high.
Yeah. I think 12 is probably more like it, Seth.
Yeah.
So you're going to redo the bathroom for $3,000, the kitchen for $5,000.
But I will
I'll put it this way: I can knock out the whole interior. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be somewhere around 11,000, and I'm going to have some outside stuff I got to do. I was just giving a little bit more room for some outside stuff.
But when I explain my final number, you'll see where I accounted for that 15 versus 12.
Yeah, because I'm not getting to 15 when I do the one bathroom in each unit, the
You're
one
right.
kitchen.
It's
Even 5 for kitchen's a little high, wouldn't you say, Andrew?
very high. No, it's not
labor
very
cabinets,
high.
cabinets. Ooh, cabinets.
Are we doing
expensive
granite?
now.
Well, by the way,
Yeah,
this
we're
would be
doing
a
granite.
prime candidate.
Granite in all of these.
This would be a prime candidate for.
We put granite at Morrison Cleveland.
I know I didn't.
This would be a prime candidate for
say that.
paint, granite, and new handles.
Oh,
Here's
for the
my
cabinets.
point. This is how it's going to all. This is perfect because this is all going to factor in to my end price.
So you did 15, Paul.
I did 15.
It's a lot.
It is a
Okay.
lot. By the way, it's astronomical, but this is the whole point of it. I wanted to go in a worst case scenario here.
What do you think the fees per unit are?
I
per year?
factored in per unit expenses.
6,500.
No.
Too high.
No, he's
Way too
lower, and he's even lower than I was.
What did you do?
What'd you do?
I have my number underneath here.
Look at this standoff here between.
I'm going to guess Paul number, and I'm going to put Andrew number. We're going to see how close I am to both. Well, I'm going to be really close on mine.
Here, look at that. I'll look at that.
Oh, you ruined it already. I didn't even write it down
What
yet.
the fuck were you writing then?
I wrote your name.
Jesus Christ.
I wrote Paul and
Paul.
Andrew.
Okay, he's got the scorecard ready.
What were you going to guess?
I thought you were going to say 5,200.
No, 5,000.
What does that entail, Paul? Just for the dummies out there, this is their first time they've ever heard this show. What does a $5,000 entail in your mind?
So I looked at their pro forma and it showed 4,700. So I just went a little bit higher.
And what I mean, really, what does that include?
Everything, payroll, taxes, insurance, maintenance.
Ready for it? 5,500.
That's what you did?
You know why?
Why?
They
Taxes?
didn't do taxes right.
Oh.
So that's going to screw up your number. And the other thing is 64 units, even though they're really nice, it's difficult. You end up spending more per unit on a labor side. And
To
so that's
get a
going to
good
skew
quality
it too.
person. Okay.
Yeah, because you can't spread it over 100 units. We always say for every 100 units, you need a maintenance guy.
Yes,
And
yes.
So with 64, you have this weird number, so you're going to be a little top heavy.
So this is excellent. I want everybody to understand out there. We're not determining exactly what we're going to pay today. What we're trying to determine is a roundabout number. And if their ask price is around that number, we go forward. But if I said something like 10,000 unit to buy it and they're at 30, no go. If we say 10,000 unit and they're at 12, okay.
Of course.
So that's the whole point of this. Like, we're not trying to be exact right here. It's both throwing a lot of.
I think in the whole history of Deal of the Weeks, one time your number was over what they were asking. It was
I don't know if you
unit.
remember. I think it was the very first one ever.
Yeah.
Paul hit it on the effing nose.
Yeah, well, okay. So let's see if he can do it again, folks. Oh, the drama builds. Go ahead, Paul. What do you think we should be doing per door on this?
I think if we can buy it for around $47,000 to $50,000 per door, and I'm sure they're asking 60 to 70 a door.
Hold on a second. Give me the.
$3 million.
3 to 3.2
$3 million.
to 3.2 million.
3.2.
Now, if they're in anywhere in the threes, I would start taking a more concentrated look of it, preferably mid threes.
What cap rate is that?
I put a 7 cap, which Andrew would argue with me about to be lower than that one.
Yeah, I think it can be a little bit lower.
Yeah, we're not going to do that though. I think they're asking
Judging this market, they're asking 4.5.
$4.5 million, but I think.
So, I'll go ahead and say I think Paul's number is a little low
Okay.
because even when I came up to, because I had my number
Yeah.
and I was definitely higher than you. Like,
How? What margin did you put in there? And what cost to sell?
I was just doing IRR, like going and doing the.
And what IRR did you get? So he used real estate calculator.
Correct.
And when we do deals like this, since we're in the Mark Clemens market and we're doing rehab, we want at least a 20% IRR.
This is a real estate calculating software that you've
we
developed
created.
yourself to
And which,
analyze
by the way,
deals.
this is why I'm glad we created it, because I felt like I was mispricing myself out of deals because I wanted margin instead of looking at the IRR and saying I'm happy with 20% IRR in this market. So what price did you
What
get?
vacancy did you use?
8%.
I used 8. 3.75 got us just over 17%.
Yeah, see, I don't think that's enough.
I hear you,
For
but
the
my point
Galloway.
is, I can
3.75 million.
3.75
So
million.
3.5 probably gets it there.
I think even less. I think once in the 3.6, it'd be hard for me to, if I knew I could get this
You
deal
mean
for
even
sure.
higher then?
What do you mean?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Yes.
What's the ask price?
4.1.
Why are you excited like that?
Because I think
Because
we
it's
can make
not
a deal happen.
that
I think we can make a deal
far
happen. We're 10% off.
And by the way,
We're 10%
oh,
off.
not from your original number though.
No,
from
but
Andrew's.
listen, I trust Andrew that he put it in real estate calculator. We're using those numbers. I trust that number.
but remember,
then.
I had my rehab number was a little bit
I didn't
lower.
use real estate calculator. I used like 20% margin, blah, 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 blah.
So you said 4.1.
Yeah.
No, that's what they're asking is 4.1. He thinks 3.6 to 3.7.
How do your? I'm assuming. Did you ever read the book Never Split the Difference?
No.
How do you guys negotiate? Like, is this are you guys?
Just like you said, our numbers are a number.
Right.
Once we get the number, but here's the deal. You just saw right there. I said 3 to 3.2. Andrew said 3.75. But then when he gave me the explanation, I'm like, oh, okay. If he did that, then that makes sense.
I see. So we're just 10% off.
We're
here.
just 10%. But there's a big difference between what Andrew and I said. But when he explained what I didn't do mine using RE calculator. If I'd done mine using RE calculator, I'm sure I would have come up with a very similar number to that one.
Yeah, he was kind of more back of the napkin, backing into it, and kind of, I'll say, rounding errors can really throw it sometimes too.
Yeah.
Because, you know, let's say he's calculating the end of the year money and it's 50,000 over, he'll pull it down a little.
And when Andrew said he did $5,500 unit expenses and still came that number, that's what makes me feel comfortable. Now, Andrew said to me, no, Paul, I did $4,750. I came with 3.6. I've been like, okay, you went low on expenses and you got this. He did $14,000 in rehab, which
That's
means
what we say, making a deal work.
if we go in there and all of a sudden we're like, we do the numbers and we do 10,000 in rehab and all of a sudden our expenses are 5,200, this is a deal all day. At 4 million even. But we're doing back of the napkin. Are we even close? And the answer is we're close.
We're close enough.
So now Andrew's going to go reach out to the broker and say, okay, let's get more information here.
Let's talk.
Let's get a tour. Let's go figure this thing out.
It's funny is like I said right when we started, is it looks nice enough to be nice and shitty enough to fix up. Like it's
The
kind of
inside, the outside's
Yeah,
beautiful.
that's what I mean.
The inside's, I
Yeah.
hate the
It's
inside.
shockingly how cheap they went with some of the finishes, considering its age.
yeah.
Boy, that exterior though. I mean, this is
That's
a property
sharp.
we're
That's
all
sharp,
living in.
isn't it?
Andrew, you lived in a property looking exactly like this when you rented an
No
apartment
doubt.
in Macedonia.
Yeah.
So
Eaton
do
Ridge
you-
Estates.
Are there little things you can do to get more income out of this? Like, can you charge $100 for a dog?
Yeah, we can do that. We
you
can
do
do.
that 'cause
What'd
it
you do with other income?
10,000.
That's what I did.
Jeez, you guys are
Killing the game.
unbelievable. You too.
But we can do things like you can put internet in, cable, and we'll do those things. But this interior, oh, it's so terrible.
I mean, it's not the worst. We're not talking like an old.
No, it's the worst.
Well, the carpet would go, the tile on the kitchen floor tile.
Look at their stage.
It's not broken, but it's just terrible.
We
Yeah.
had these stools when we lived in Columbia, Missouri in 1987.
Look at the tables. I think Cinderella drove off on one of those.
Jesus Christ! I think they went to.
Yes.
The,
Wow. All right, so we're
This is my
close on the
favorite
deal.
floor.
it's a Mexico floor.
We're close on the deal.
We're close on the deal.
Interesting.
So Andrew's gonna contact the broker, offer some sexual favors to get the price lower.
Which I'm sure he's good at.
I just polished these nails
Polish your
up.
nails off. You're ready to go.
Plus,
at
I have
it?
really soft hands, I feel like.
Yeah.
Why are you always sweaty? You're disgusting.
It's a little,
I think it's the lights in here.
I don't think it is.
it's
No?
lights. I mean, it's probably 75 in here. But yeah, he's a little.
There was a little hair on there.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, everyone, for Deal of the Week.
It's
We're
just
gonna,
went downhill
we're gonna
fast.
cut this off before Paul.
For
starts
those of
to-
you who are
Heavily
just listening to this, you may want to check out
yes,
the video.
check out YouTube for Paul erotically petting Andrew's chest in a sort of an Asian Swedish massage.
Do you have an
Sensual-
undershirt under there? No. Oh,
Oh, so you can see the sort of the
We'll
So-
call it the grain.
sort of the chest pube fro coming up from his shirt.
I can't see it. I felt it. That's the problem. I
You
felt it.
You felt it. So, oh
Wait
wait,
a second.
Tim's chiming in.
Tim
Go
want-
ahead, Tim. What were you going to say? Oh shoot,
It's not
Wait, I
working.
don't even have
Oh.
Tim on. Well,
Oh,
no,
Jesus.
okay.
Tim said we're getting off track here.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us for the Deal of the Week, guys.
Deal
Sorry
of the
this
week.
property is off limits now because Paul's going to buy it. If you have properties, we have had listeners send us properties. If you see a property in your area that we want to talk about, analyze.
Can I make a comment?
Go.
Can you look at the staple job on this packet that
Oh.
Andrew did?
That was the worst ever.
So at least he tried. Let me just say
8
this.
times.
There are 4 to 5 staples going in the front and
I
only
think
1
I-
coming out the back.
I used the You know that stapler that's supposed to staple 6,000 pages at once?
Yeah, it won't
I
get
use
through
that
7.
for 6 pages.
So, made in China crap, right? All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.